Lads, we've returned, and we're here with Crusadia Guardragon, but with a spicy twist. We're running some of the new stuff, and some of the new stuff, by that I mean the Rocket structure deck. If you looked at the thumbnail, you have already seen it. So we're going to jump into the profile here in half a second, but this deck works a little different than what you'd expect, so why don't we just jump into it, and I will show you how 3 copies of this structure deck and a little bit of fun shenanigans can lead to a pretty powerful and competent deck. So, starting out, we have 3 copies of Crusadia Maximus, the Spartan. So, Maximus is just part of the Crusadia package. You basically just need to open any 2 Crusadia cards and you have a 2 negate board, possibly more, just depending on what else is in your hand, and everything is a combo piece or protection, and that's it. So triple Crusadia Maximus. Next is going to be triple Crusadia Draco. Typically the one you search, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get some funky stuff that works in your favor. So triple Draco, triple Reclusia, triple Arborea, triple Leonis. So each of them have different effects when they're pointing to a link monster, which doesn't really come up because they're in here as a package to get to your Guardragon stuff and get your entire deck running. You don't have to run all of them. You can cut them if you want, but I felt the most consistent build was to have these, and they give you free combo extenders later in your combo when you don't have your Guardragons or you haven't used your Rocket effects. So that's your Crusadia package. It's a total of 15 cards. There are no other cards that complement it. It is here strictly to get your engine going. If you open 2 of them, you win. Well, you don't win, but you're in a really good spot. And then the rest of your hand can be pretty much anything. Next up is triple copies of Rocket Tracer. Rocket Tracer is the most powerful Rocket card in the main deck. And to complement him, you want to have Rockets to target. So I chose 2 level 4s. This is just so you can make a level 8 synchros, or rank 4 exceeds, which does come up. But the coolest stuff is if you end up drawing into another card, and then you're able to do some really cool shenanigans. 1 Anist Rocket, it's just another Rocket. And then 1 Rocket Synchron. This is good going past turn 1 as a normal summon option. Sometimes you'll pull it off and use it. It just kind of depends. For the most part, it's used as late game or as a Rocket target in deck. Next up is then your Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Pretty standard. 2 copies of Defrag Dragon. This is just a free extender. Continuing the extender lineup, we've got 1 Black Dragon and 1 White Dragon, and finally 1 Destrudo. So, lots of monsters, but 2 Crusadias plus extenders and stuff, you're going to be fine. And it doesn't matter, like, this is a more budget version than the IB combo, and doesn't lose to Gnome material as badly. Can lose to Gnome, but Gnome hurts no matter what. But you could play through like Veiler or other different monster effect negations. Triple Quick Launch. Obviously, Quick Launch it's super good. These are all your quick plays. So triple Call by the Grave. This is just for protection. If they hit your Magius, Magius is kind of the linchpin. If Magius goes off, then they probably don't have a hand trap. If they do have a hand trap and they save it for Spartha, which is also very smart, you still have that protection as an option. And then 2 Rapid Trigger. Okay, so this is really cool depending on the matchup, because Furious Dragon is insane. That card is dumb. And the fact that you get it in a structure deck for $10 is wild. So you want to have it, and you want to have access to it, and Rapid Trigger just really helps you to shoot the gun and really get off the ground. Next up is going to be triple copies of World Legacy Guardragon, free revival. On top of that, 1 Monster Reborn, again, free revival. And then to send cards to the graveyard, 1 Foolish, and 1 Dragon Shrine. Alright, so that's it for the main deck. Not a lot of spells. Every spell is super powerful. and that's what you want it to be. You want your monsters to do the most of the speaking. So we're going to jump into the extra deck now. So for the Crusadia stuff, you only run 2, Sparta and Magius, which is why you could cut it down, but because the rest of the links are pretty generic outside of, what, 4? The rest is really generic stuff, so you're fine. So 1 Crusadia Magius, 1 Crusadia Sparta. Then your Guardragon package, which is insane. So it's 1 Elpie, 1 Pisty, 1 Agripane, and then 1 Spheres. So, oh, that's off the camera. So obviously you know the Guardragon stuff. This is the one you want to end with. So you basically will revive a whole bunch of stuff and use your combo as much as you can until you get into into Spheres, and then you use Tracer's effect. You'll probably revive Tracer once or twice. If you don't get into Tracer, then you just have to go different avenues, but plenty of tuners in the deck to be able to pull off the Savage Dragon combo. 1 Triple Burst just as an additional link, 3 just in case. Double Saryuja. These are the expensive cards here, and then Boral Sword. Some expensive cards in this deck, obviously, because some of these cards are just insane and really necessary. But a lot of this you can pick up for relatively cheap. The entire main deck is pretty cheap. So it's really just the extra deck is where you're going to invest your money. 1 Borreload Furious Dragon. This guy is so good. So how you want to pull this off is if you destroy Rocket Tracer and let's say Silver Rocket or Anis the Rocket or something. Let's say Anis the Rocket just for giggles. You pop them both and you create this. Well, Anis the Rocket in the end phase will summon another Rocket. So then you have free fodder to do whatever you need to. And something you can do is use your spheres, bounce something, summon another dragon monster from your deck, use use Rocket Tracer, because you can summon Tracer off of Anis the Rocket, pop the card you summoned off of from Spheres, pop that, add another card, then use its effect, pop that, pop something else. And then if this goes to graveyard, you just have a free, basically you get into a Link 4 almost for nothing. So this guy is super good, but you want to make sure that its extra deck space is tight, and this guy is super powerful, depending on the matchup, and depending on if you actually see it. Then your Synchros, FA Dawn Dragster, Borreload Savage Dragon, and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Your typical ending board will have him on board, and sometimes you'll have him. Sometimes you'll even get into this. So this guy is optional. I almost don't summon him. I almost always never make him. What I end up making typically is 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare. So Nightmare is super good because it gives you something to just which is nice. So it forces your opponent to play around different stuff. And then with banishing effects, anything that banishes, this just helps you play around anything that would be revived or summoned being banished. It's sent instead. So it's like the Paleozoic lineup, essentially. Then into the side deck. Triple Lancia. It's Lancia. Triple Valor. Valor's really strong. So this is my spicy card. I call it spicy because it's really strong, in my opinion. Triple Iron Dragon Tamayaten. So if you're going second and they make a board with 3 cards in the same line, you make this, you blow it all up. You can just summon it right in that same row, and it blows it all up. And it's a quick effect, so you can do it during your turn or during their turn and force negates. But you can do it at the beginning of your turn or any point in your combo and just blow it all up. And it's a level 4 dragon, and it locks them out of the extra deck zone there. And if you go first, you can keep this sided in. When you go first, you make your board in 3 here. So extra monster zone, Maya monster zone, spell and trap zone. You just keep those 3 filled. Then you summon this in the other one, and they don't have their extra deck spot. They have to swing over a 2,000 booty, which is hard to do because typically you'll have spheres here, like in this line, and then you'll have something else here. So this guy is super powerful in this deck because he's 1, a dark dragon, and 2, his effect is insane. I love this guy as a side option, and it's something that people don't see coming. Finally, Triple Twin Twisters. Twin Twisters is great. And you get this in the structure deck, so 3 copies of the structure deck, spend about 20 bucks on the Crusadia package, and then, so let's say you're at 50 bucks there. We'll talk about the pricing in a minute. And then Triple Red Reboot, which is also in the structure deck. So this deck is relatively affordable because the majority of the deck is dirt cheap. I mean, let's look at it. Destrudo's not expensive. These guys aren't expensive anymore because they're one-ofs. Defrag Dragon comes in the structure deck. This comes in the structure deck. You have to buy a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and the Crusadia package. And then you have to buy a couple of spells like Foolish Burial you have to pick up. Most people have them. They're pretty readily available. Dragon Shrine comes in. You have to pick up a Monster Reborn. These are a little pricey, but let's say 5 bucks. So in the main deck, you're looking at what? 30, let's say 50 bucks. 50 bucks to the main deck. For your extra deck, that's where your money is at, but your main money stuff is not this, not this. This is under 5 bucks. This is probably 10 bucks maybe. These are cheap. Structure deck. These are expensive. These are about 30 a piece. These are the 3 expensive cards, and then the rest, and the rest of it's pretty cheap. I mean, for the most part. So this is under $200 probably. I would guess, if I had to guesstimate the price. If you asked me, hey, how much does this cost? I'd say under 200. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I could be off on some of those prices. But based on quick maths, I would say that this deck is probably under $200. Pretty affordable. It's very combo heavy. And since we're here, what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out and we're going to shuffle one up and we're going to play a quick hand. So you guys can kind of see a quick combo. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, shall we? I'll put this over here, and I can't see. Okay. Well, the deck is not shuffled very well, so this is going to be fun. Let's see here. And I got to do this all upside down, too. Oh, this is wild. Okay. I think it's as shuffled as I'm going to be willing to get it, so let's see what we can pull off. Alright, so we opened a Rocket Tracer, a World Legacy Guardragon, a Crusadia Draco, a Crusadia Maximus, and a Defrag Dragon. So this is really good. This is actually an insane hand, but all you're going to do is, what you can do here is then normal summon Draco and make Magius. Here. Then summon Maximus. Now, at this point, this is where they would want a Veiler, and if they do, that's perfectly fine, because if they Veiler here, you have the Revival. So all you're going to do is you're going to add a different extender. So you can add any extender. Typically in this place, you're going to add Arborea. So let's say add Arborea. Because they don't know what we're playing, right? So next up is then Link 2 into Sparta. Okay, now what I'll do here is discard the Rocket Tracer to summon the Defrag Dragon to make LP, and then we'll use Crusadia Sparta's effect to move that, so LP's effect will go off to summon Big Papa Love. Where's Big Papa Love? Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and then Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon's effect's going to go off to summon back out. Let's go Rocket Tracer for fun. And then this is really all super important to do like this, because right now we have 2 extenders in hand. So basically we're just getting a free +1, because we're going to make Saryuja, which just gives us a +1, essentially. Like, we're only going to keep one of the cards, because we're going to keep these, unless all 4 of them are ridiculous, but they're not going to be. So, what we got here was Quick Launch, which is a great card to pull off here. And that's the card we're going to add, because this is going to be incredibly important later in the combo. But what we could do also is we still could get rid of this and add the Rapid Trigger if we wanted to. But we have another Saryuja coming, and we're going to be shuffling the deck again, so it's not a big deal. So, let's do that. The next up thing is we're going to special summon Arborea. Which way is that? So, we'll summon Arborea. We'll use Saryuja's effect to special summon Arborea over here. And then we'll use Rapid Trigger, saving this, to pull out another Rocket Tracer. So what we're doing is thinning the deck. Then we're going to link away into Pisty. And then Pisty, pull back Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon will pull back Rocket Tracer. And then we'll use these two, maybe, to make Agripane. And then we'll use Agripane's effect to pull out Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then we're going to be making another Saryuja because we don't even have to go into World Legacy Guardragon at the moment, so we're getting another free +1. But how are we going to do that? Well, let's see. So, we're going to link these 4 away. Maybe. To make Saryuja number 2. Because we already have everything we need. So we get to draw 4. And in this scenario, honestly, Wyver Burster is probably the best card to add. You can add Destrudo, but it's not needed anymore because of what you're going to be able to do. So now we have to banish something to summon him, so we'll banish a Defrag Dragon, I guess. Summon Wyver Burster. So now you have your 2 dragons on board, which is critical. Then we go World Legacy Guardragon, pull back out Rocket Tracer. And then, let's see here, we're going to... Excuse me. Then we're going to link these 2 into spheres, because we have to do it now. And then we get the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent effect, or the White Dragon to add the Black Dragon. So we're at 2, and we have World Legacy Guardragon on field, which is a free pop, essentially. Which is cool because now we get to do some really cool stuff. If we had added Destrudo, we would not have the board we're going to have, which stinks, but now we get to banish 1 light to summon Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. We'll summon him over here, and then we'll use Rocket Tracer's effect to pop this. To go Silver Rocket Dragon. Basically, it's just thinning the deck. And now we make Borreload's Savage Dragon. And if you had Destrudo, what you would have done differently, like if we had Destrudo in the graveyard at some point, the only way we would have changed it is we would have summoned Destrudo first and made Dragster first, and then we'd go into this play. But since we don't, we're just going to synchro these 2 away. Make Savage Dragon. And then equip him with a Saryuja here. And then this would be where Tamiyatin would be really good, because you could summon Tamiyatin here now that you have 3. You go Tamiyatin, boom. Now they're locked out of their extra monster zone. You could still make your rank 4 if you wanted to, but Tamiyatin here would be insane. So that's just, I mean, you use your entire hand, and that's kind of the negative side of the deck, is it's very fragile, but it's super fun, and you can get some pretty cool wins against decks that aren't prepared to deal with all the summoning you can do in the turn, which will not last much longer. But it's still really fun to play. I have a lot of fun with this deck. I'm a big fan. But this has been my deck profile on Crusadia Guardragon with some spicy techs. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.